Amidst the fierce battles waged by the Humanity Defense Front, the Eastern Front suffered immense devastation, with the fight growing increasingly hopeless. The Holy Cleansing Barrier barely held back total defeat, only delaying the inevitable. Yet the warriors fought with unyielding resolve. A fortunate turn of events came as the destruction dragon Erosion ceased its movements, perched on the shoulder of a colossal demon beast, seemingly content to observe the battle. While an opportunity to attack presented itself, no one possessed the strength to act, and Velgrind remained focused on recovering her stamina. It was deemed wiser to bide their time rather than recklessly provoke Erosion, hoping that the tides of battle might shift in their favor. Luminous, though cynical, clung to the faint possibility of reinforcements from Rimuru's subordinates, despite the insect demon Lord Zelanus causing turmoil in the labyrinth. Yet, an unshakable belief lingered. Rimuru, known for his resilience, would not be easily defeated and abandoned. Her observations of him mirrored the idealized image Chloe had described, confident, kind, and exuding a presence that naturally inspired trust. Even Hinata, ever sharp and battle-hardened, seemed to find solace in his presence. Luminous herself refused to succumb to despair, driven by the thought that Rimuru would mock her if she gave up. Resolving to remain steadfast, she steeled herself for the fight ahead. The battlefield, though dire, was not yet lost. If they could weaken the phantom beasts before Erosion rejoined the fray, survival was still within reach. While the Eastern Front endured the most intense conflict, the other defensive lines were also struggling, particularly in the west, where a monstrous new threat emerged from beyond the door. This beast, known as Kakashi, a beast radiating the aura of a champion, was a terrifying fusion of wolf, lion, and dragon, stretching 10 meters long and over 5 meters tall. Its black dragon scales bristled like needles, and its 8-segmented tail writhed like venomous serpents. 6 glowing crimson eyes scanned the battlefield, with additional retractable eyeballs eliminating blind spots. Its powerful legs bore massive claws, while eerie protrusions lined its scales. Most fearsome were its razor-edged fangs, embodying pure predatory menace. Though Kakashi acknowledged the warriors before it, it showed little interest, instead taking in the new world it had entered. Sniffing the air, it released a deafening howl, the resulting shockwave knocking back those too weak to withstand its sheer force. The sight of the beast unsettled even the mighty Gregory, who loathed dogs, but his warrior's pride kept him from backing down. As he prepared to engage, Shin and Dagger restrained him, sensing something more threatening unfolding. Kakashi, though motionless and graceful in its stance, was not alone. From the portal, a pack of its kin began to emerge, similar in form but slightly smaller, each with only 4 eyes instead of 6. The full extent of their combat prowess remained unknown, but they carried the same menacing air as their alpha. Shin's sharp command signaled the start of the battle, and in perfect unison, the beasts attacked. Unlike the usual cryptids, these creatures demonstrated an uncanny level of coordination, operating as a well-trained unit rather than as individual threats. Each one alone was already formidable, ranking at least a rank by free guild standards, with many among them exceeding even S rank, making them significantly more dangerous than ordinary adversaries. For the gathered human warriors, all experienced fighters of a rank or higher, even one-on-one battles against these creatures posed extreme difficulty. But the greater challenge lay in the beast's ability to fight as a pack, an advantage that starkly contrasted the relative disorganization of the human forces. Recognizing the impending disaster, Glenda urgently ordered the warriors to remain close to their allies and avoid isolation, an instruction that became increasingly crucial as the enemy's numbers swelled into the hundreds. Despite the holy purification barrier providing some measure of advantage, the pack's overwhelming coordination made the situation dire. Fueled by his deep-seated hatred, Gregory unleashed a furious assault, obliterating multiple beasts with raw, lion-like intensity. Though the creatures weren't technically dogs, the distinction was meaningless in the heat of battle. Shin, wielding her decapitation demon blade with unmatched skill, cut down several at once, demonstrating her immense power. Yet the sheer volume of enemies made it clear that even her efforts were not enough to stem the tide. The battle raged on, an unrelenting struggle against a foe that fought with an intelligence and unity rarely seen in monsters, pushing the warriors to their limits as they fought to hold the line. The relentless assault of the enemy forces made it feel as though their numbers were infinite, a demoralizing realization shared by all on the battlefield. Despite still holding a numerical advantage, the uncertainty of when the tide might turn weighed heavily on the warriors, the ceaseless cycle of combat gradually eroding their resolve. Kakashi, ever watchful, remained still, his cold and calculating gaze surveying the battlefield as he patiently awaited the opportune moment to strike. When that moment finally arrived, he rose and let out his second howl of the day, this time not as a mere warning, but as a declaration of dominance. Though a beast, Kakashi's intelligence far surpassed that of many humans. He was not only cunning and cautious but also capable of discerning battles he could not win. His decision to attack was a chilling testament to his certainty of victory. The sheer force of his roar made the air itself tremble, sending a command that instantly transformed the behavior of his familia. No longer restrained, the creatures launched a merciless offensive, discarding all hesitation and fighting with reckless ferocity. Glenda, recognizing the shift in the battle's atmosphere, reloaded her weapon with a divine technique and swiftly felled one of the beasts, but an unsettling sensation gripped her before she could celebrate the kill. Without hesitation, she sent out a warning through thought communication, instructing everyone to cease breathing and assume a defensive stance immediately. Her words came just in time. Kakashi's roar had concealed a lethal trap, a secret attack designed to wipe out the opposition in a single move. From the gaps in his dragon-scaled hide, tiny protrusions oozed the viscous, degrading enzyme that, when mixed with his aura, created a deadly poison mist, a toxin so potent that only the Kakashi familia was immune to its effects. Without Glenda's sharp intuition and timely warning, the battlefield would have been littered with corpses. Despite the alert, some among Shin's Yamagiri subordinates had already inhaled the deadly mist, their bodies succumbing to its horrifying effects. Their lungs burned as their organs deteriorated from within, bloody pus spilling from their mouths, their eyes rupturing as their mucous membranes decayed. Their suffering stretched into hours of agony, as even recovery potions could not fully neutralize the poison. Instead, they were caught in an endless cycle of destruction and regeneration until the mist's effects dissipated. Witnessing the grotesque affliction, the warriors silently acknowledged the life-saving value of Glenda's danger detection skill. Though Gregory, ever disdainful of canine-like creatures, spat out a bitter remark. His ability to complain even in such dire circumstances had an oddly grounding effect, helping the others reclaim some of their composure. Then, without hesitation, Shin took action. With a powerful slash of her massive longsword, God Gorokimaru, she invoked her devastating technique, true heaven and earth killing and falling, chaotic fate. The sheer force of her attack eradicated Kakashi's poison mist entirely. Her ultimate skill, Tyrannical King Susanoo, and its canceling ability proving to be invaluable assets once more. This triumph marked a decisive moment in the battle, restoring not only Shin's honor but also the morale of the warriors who stood beside her. As if sealing her dominance over the battlefield, she boldly declared her unparalleled expertise, whether in combat or cooking, a declaration that electrified her allies with renewed determination. Though her presence reignited hope, the battle had only just begun, and with Kakashi's second roar as its catalyst, the Western Front now found itself plunged into an even fiercer struggle.